your hosts, Calvin and Garland. The B.I.G show is a weekly breakdown of the sports world from a fan's perspective. Here are your hosts, Calvin and Garland.
It is the big show.
Big up, big up, big up,
It's
big up.
good to see y'all again. We are back for another week of great sports talk. We are live on YouTube right now. We are also on all the podcast platforms when I drop the pod. And if you have Spotify, you will get to see our beautiful faces and Dr. Huxtable over there. Dr. Huxtable, what you got going on, darling?
We're doing some Zerbits tonight. Dr. Cosby has a little drink for the ladies. Yo, I remember when I was in college.
By Dr. Huxtable aren't necessarily the views of everybody on this podcast.
Man, I remember when I was in college and the Cosby Show was super popular. Everybody had the little Cosby type sweaters and stuff. So you had the colorful sweaters before the Coogee was Coogee. You had the colorful sweaters and whatnot, and
everybody
had the little colorful sweaters in college.
You had the vest. You had the vest, the little button-up cardigans. The thick ones. Yeah, man. I had all.
Sweater game was on large right back then.
I
those
used
late
to rock
80s.
My turtleneck with my thick sweater.
They
have my little necklace sticking out where you couldn't tell me nothing.
Son, come on. Used to be up in Gap with the little button joints, like the 3-button joints before the quarter zips. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sweater game real tight back in the day. They don't know about that. What about you? What's going on, bro?
No, man, just chilling. Still working a lot, working hard, but it's winding down. I'm starting to get some free time. I actually left on time today. Lately, I ain't been leaving work or when I'm at home finishing work till about 7, 8 o'clock at night. Today, I actually got out of there at 4:45. So it's starting to wind down. I'm starting to get a little bit of freedom out here. So, it's all feeling good.
He wide awake, y'all. Y'all see he all happy and whatnot. So last week, he was like, all right, man, keep going.
They was kicking my ass.
Get through these topics.
February is a tough month.
I saw Calvin down at the CIAA. Another colleague of mine, he got tickets, and so we went to VIP, and Calvin and his wife came through, Katina and whatnot. You look like you was ready to go home.
I didn't want to be there. The one of my coworkers, she had some extra VIP tickets, and she was like, "Y'all want to go?" And I knew Katina would want to go, but I was tired, and she was like, "You going?" So because I hadn't been in the VIP every year, she's always like, "Why you don't come in the VIP?" I was like, "Because I don't ask for the tickets. I sit with the homies. I sit with y'all. I don't." Right. Sometimes she'll come and grab me and take me to the suite or whatever to get some stuff, but I don't ever ask. I'd rather sit with y'all. But this time she was like, "You coming? You going down there?" So I called Katina and we were with it. But you're right. When I got there, I had just left work, went home, changed, and came. I was tired, man. I was beat. But it was a good time. Yeah. I had a good time. And I couldn't find you because we went to the suite. And I was looking for you. They had crab cakes in the suite and everything. Remember I hit you. I was like, "Yo, where you at? You still here?"
Trust me, I got a story to tell in my Yo about the tournament. Okay, what happened to me. And I watched the championship game on the men's championship game on Saturday. I happened to catch the second half of it. Came down to last second making. It was a good game.
It was a good game.
I think it was Fayetteville State came back and won that game against Bluefield, and so
and they were actually the number one seed, Fayetteville State, but they were down the whole game. So
real good game. All right, man, let's go ahead and jump into it. And so when Steve Bisciotti held his press conference after the firing of John Harbaugh, he said it was a priority for the team to sign Lamar Jackson to an extension before free agency begins. Well, Calvin, free agency begins next week. And guess what? Lamar has not signed the extension, which would give the team some flexibility in terms of salary cap wise heading into free agency. And so the Ravens, they do hold a unilateral right to convert his salary into a signing bonus and add more void years. And so last week we talked about that his cap number, I believe, is 74 million or 75 million dollars. But the team with that option that could save the team up to $38 million in cap space in 2026, though they would prefer a long-term extension to avoid pushing costs into 28 and to 29. And so the idea is they don't want to put it on the credit card and have to spend later. They want to go ahead and do it up front now. And so what does the failure to get Lamar signed to an extension, although they still got a couple more days, but right now is looking pretty tight, to get Lamar signed to an extension tell you about his future in Baltimore?
Just so right now, all it is just a lot of nervous energy. I don't feel in my heart that the Baltimore Ravens are seriously thinking about not moving forward with a long-term deal with the best quarterback we've ever had,
Sure.
minus the Super Bowl, of course, and one of arguably could finish as one of the best quarterbacks ever in the game. I mean, you already have people touting him now as the most prolific, the most what like Michael Jordan, we call it a game changing type quarterback
Mm-hmm.
ever in the history of the game. So I just don't see the Ravens not wanting that as part of the future. It takes two to tango. So, we a lot of times we always talk about, depending on what side of the coin you're on, we're always talking about the Ravens need to do this, the Ravens need to do that. This could be a case where the other side, where Lamar needs to do this, Lamar needs to do that. It could be him saying, nah, that's not quite the deal that I want. You and I both talked about this. We're players, guys, get all you can. We want Lamar to get all you can. But of course,
Sure.
if we were talking to him right now, we'd be, but we still want you here. I mean, you could take a little
Right.
less to get. But I firmly believe now the one thing that we cannot take away as Ravens
Mhm.
fans is that when the Ravens want a player, even if it's the last minute, they will find a way to keep that player.
Sure.
So I,
Agree.
I I definitely believe this is one of them Joe Flacco type things where you may not have given him what he wanted in the front, but when it comes down to it, you have to have him. So you got to do something. I think Lamar realizes that he has to cut that number in order to get the team around him that he wants.
Sure. One, it's just so crazy that they're still dealing with this years later of getting Lamar into a contract in a timely manner. Yes, I know he represents himself, and it's no problem with that. I think, the world has gotten over that. But, the fact that it's so hard to reach a number where it seems like other quarterbacks are able to reach numbers quicker is kind
Yeah.
of deflating sometimes when it comes to these things of negotiating with Lamar. I think they pretty much knew that was the case. That's why they put these void years in there. And because they knew, hey, it's a strong possibility that we might get towards the end of this contract, and it's going to take a while to get him signed to an extension. I do believe that if he does not sign an extension after this coming season, then they may go ahead and just trade him for the final couple years of that deal, because basically that's saying, I'm ready to move on, or
Yeah.
I want a whole lot of money that maybe they may not be willing to put out there.
You
Um,
almost have to. You almost have to
yeah,
trade
I,
him at that
I, I
point.
think you will have to trade him after that sense, and so hopefully, if it's not done by next week, the NFL league year starts on March 11th, and so hopefully, he's signed by then. But if not, we don't have to worry about this season, because they're more than like, Bashadi's already said it. We're going to go ahead and void the years. Spread out the signing bonus. He'll be at the same cap number that he was at last season, and we can go ahead and rock. I was listening to the radio on my way home today. They were saying if they had Lamar at the same number this year, say that he did not sign an extension, they go ahead and void those years. He would be at the 38 million. They would have at least 60 million to play with. And they might do some more restructuring where it might even increase some more or some cuts. And so they should be okay to, sign some premium players possibly. They still got money for the draft, and so they should be good with that. But yeah, I hope that he gets a deal done by the 11th. I hope it does not drag into April. And if it drags past April and he plays that season out and, it drags on again, if he's like, I'm going to wait, then I think we might see some movement on the front office.
I agree.
But yeah, you want your best player back. And the Ravens have done an excellent job of signing players that they've drafted and developed,
Hmm.
particularly first rounders. But it might not look that way coming up in this free agency. And so we're going to play a little game. Do they stay or do they go? And so the following Ravens are free agents. I'm going to give you a name and you tell me, do they stay or do they sign elsewhere? So let's go ahead and start on the offense. Tyler Lindenbaum.
I'll see you later, sir. Tyler's gone. Tyler's out of
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, he's about to set the market. You just had the Bears center retire. They wasn't expecting that. They're going to need to replace him. The Chargers, I think they're in the center market as well. They got a lot of cap money. Giants has been mentioned him going and reuniting with Harbaugh, and
Exactly.
so yeah,
That's
he's
where
going
I
to get
think
a
he's going.
yeah he's going to get an opportunity to reset the market at the center position. Let's take one defensive player, Kyle Van Noy.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. Thanks for the years, but we saw last year that he'd fallen off, and it's actually just time for him to go. I don't think it's one of them that we necessarily are like get the fuck out of here, but it's just time for
Right.
him to move on. Maybe time to retire. Actually.
Yeah, he reminds me a little bit of Justin Houston. You remember when we had Justin
Hmm.
Houston them couple years? He
First
had
few
some
games,
sacks and
killing.
yeah, just killing it. Then by game 14, 15, you forgot they was on the team. Yeah, I think really not having Matabike last year affected a lot of things. They just were not able to get that pass rush home.
Yeah.
And his production numbers definitely were not where they were the 2 seasons before that. Offense again, Isaiah Likely. Does he stay or is he going somewhere else?
Yeah, this is where the Ravens made the mistake signing Mark Andrews. Isaiah likely is going to get some big money to be elsewhere. So yeah, see you later. Likely,
Uh, yeah, he's likely to go.
likely to go.
Ba-doom. I'll be here all night. Yeah, he's likely to go. I agree with you. I think you know they both of their tight ends are on in free agencies, Kolar and Likely. Hopefully one of them comes back. Maybe it might be Kolar on a team friendly deal. I would think that maybe he's not the more wanted tight end of the two that are going to be out there. But yeah, you got although he has not retired, you got Travis Kelsey. They need a tight end out there. But I think he wants to go to a team where he's the number one tight end, that he's
Yeah,
not the
yeah,
backup tight end. And so we'll see what happens with that. Back to defense, Draymond Jones. We got him in a midseason trade deadline with the Titans. He came, had
yeah.
4.5 sacks with us.
I think he stays. I think they try to re-sign him. He actually did not have a bad year. He got some sacks in. We didn't think he was a number one pass rusher, but we needed him just to at least get some pressure. And he didn't play horribly well. He didn't play great, but he didn't play horribly well. But I think they're going to sign him. I think if you can get another pass rusher on the other end, this is the type of guy that you need as your secondary pass rusher from the outside. So I think they'll keep him. I think they'll keep him.
Yeah, they got to get something out of this of letting Owe trading Owe to the Chargers. This was their attempt to replace Owe. I don't think Owe's coming back here. Owe's going to want some big money. The Ravens already know what they got with Owe. They had him for 5
Right.
seasons.
Exactly.
When you go into a well schemed defense and you got Khalil Mack and one of the Bosa brothers on the other side, you're going to do pretty well. And so, yeah, I think there might be an attempt to get Draymond Jones back. Pat Ricard, offensive favorite.
Yeah, this is another tough one. It really depends on what the Ravens offense wants to run. Under John Harbaugh, he's running that fullback type offense, and they may not run it. I think Ricard is gone. I don't think we're going to be running that type of offense, and I do think that Ricard is going to end up in New York with Tyler Linderbaum and John
Oh wow.
Harbaugh.
Okay. Okay. Um, I think they do transition. I mean, they got as much as they could get out of Ricard. He's not really. I mean, he's great in the blocking, and I don't necessarily see the offense that probably Doyle is going to run here if he's coming out of
Exactly.
that Johnson type offense. It did not really use fullbacks all that much, and so I don't necessarily see where he's going to fit in that offense. And so I think the whole thing of Pancake Pat is probably over here in Baltimore. Uh, Cheeto Bay Awuzie, he played cornerback. He had, at times when Marlon went down, it was a period where he was giving us some good games, but he still
Yeah.
got burnt a lot. What do you think about Awuzie?
So it's difficult with these secondaries because the Ravens seem to fall in love with a bunch of defensive backs. But you do got a Marlon Humphrey that we don't know really what's going to happen with him. He's also getting older. We also seem to suffer a lot of defensive back injuries. I think they get another flyer on them. They seem to like the guys that know the scheme a little bit. I think they take another flyer on them. A 1 year deal, I could see that staying with Baltimore.
Okay, as you mentioned, defensive backs, who do you keep? Alohi Gilmore or Ardarius Washington? They're both free agents. They brought in Gilman in the trade for
Hmm.
Owe to kind of fill the space for Darius Washington. Darius got injured in the offseason, but he made it back before the end of the season and played a couple games. And so, who do you try to go after in this scenario? They both
So
play in the same positions.
I like Alohi. He can't tackle. But I like Alohi. I like what he brought to the team when he came over. I would I mean, but Darius has also played well until he got injured. I would go. I would keep
Mhm.
Alohi if I had the
Okay.
choice. I would go after him.
I think what probably bodes well for Lohi is he's coming out of Mentor's defense. He played for Mentor the last couple seasons in Los Angeles. He knows that system. It might be a good fit for them to keep Gilman around. And so, I love the work that Ardarius did, especially the 2 playoff years. He played very well for them, especially last year. Um, that Pittsburgh game, making some crucial tackles. I think he had a big tackle in the Texans game on Christmas Day. He played pretty well for them, but I think Gilman is more the prototypical guy that you want back there. Washington's little small Mighty Mouse type of guy. They don't necessarily last a lot. Uh, between the fight of the wide receivers, DeAndre Hopkins or Tylen Wallace.
Yeah, man. I think the Tylen Wallace experiment is. Yeah, I don't want to say experiment because he had the Rams game with the kick return because he also runs kicks back. I think he's a little more versatile. Hopkins is a little older, but the hands are still crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I see a scenario where you could possibly keep both of them. I think Hopkins realizes who he is now in the NFL. I think he did talk about wanting to stay with Baltimore, but didn't think he would. If I had to choose, you might have to go with Tylen Wallace because he does run back kick returns, but I think they got a returner. I personally would like to keep Hopkins around and let him use those hands a little more.
Yeah, they got Jonte Webster back there. They
Yeah,
drafted him last
yeah.
year, and so I love Wallace on the special teams. I was there that Rams game when he scored that touchdown in the
Hmm.
rain. That was a great game. That was a great season. Hopkins is old.
Oh
Hopkins, he
man.
did make a couple catches. I mean, he's the type of receiver that the Ravens love, but there are a lot of other old receivers that are going to be free agents this year that they might be able to get more production from. So I don't think DeAndre's back here, but if I'm sure if they can maybe get Wallace back, he was valuable, like you said, on special teams. I think he might have a spot here. What do you think about Charlie Kolar? You think he comes back on a team friendly deal?
No, I don't actually.
Hmm.
And not because they don't want him. I think we as Ravens fans look at him as our third tight end, and we kind of undervalue what the NFL actually sees in him. He's a solid blocking tight end. He's a solid catching tight end. I mean, Kolar could be a number one or even a 1A on someone else's team. If you think about some of the tight ends that are out there, especially some of the older ones, like you got Zach Ertz. I could see Kolar taking over a role like that. He may not be as productive, but he has dependable hands. He could stay on the field at least 2 to 3 downs. You look at Washington. Washington just got rid of they're letting what's their tight end name?
Oh, Ertz, Zach Ertz.
Ertz, that's what I'm talking about. I said I was at first I was referring to the Philadelphia tight end that's a little older. Ertz used to play for Philly, but they have another tight end now. But anyway, I don't think Kolar stays. I really don't. I think it's going to be a blow for Baltimore, or they're going to have to pay him more than what they intended to pay him. I don't think Kolar stays. What do you think?
I think he's a good number two. I think with the um, ability to come and play more behind Mark Andrews. They can't let both tight ends out the door.
They can't.
It's funny. It's a great tight end that's in the draft from Oregon. That's going to be kind of like possibly in the Ravens area of 14 when they draft. This guy's a beast, but I don't
big
think
boy they were showing.
Yeah, he's real good. I don't think he's going to get down to 14, but it'll be good to have someone who is there that's been a part of the team that kind of has played with Andrews that could complement Andrews, and I think that's Kolar. And so I don't think they're going to have the price to get Likely, but I think they might have the price to get Kolar.
I think they're going to have to pay him. I wouldn't be surprised if he commands a lot more money than they wanted to pay.
What you think about David Ojabo? I think he's done. Yeah, he is a free agent. He's never showed. I think he might have 1 or 2 career sacks, but he is a free agent.
I don't even know why you brought that name up. First of all, they should have never drafted him. Let's start there. Mm-hmm. He was injured when they drafted him.
They love drafting injured players.
They just, they should have never drafted him. He's absolutely gone. Like there's literally no reason to keep him. None whatsoever.
Also, our punter, he's a free agent. Jordan Stout had a great year last year.
Jordan Stout had a Pro Bowl year last year.
So what do you think happens with Stout?
I mean, don't you have to keep them? You know what I mean? With these
how much is a pro punter going to command on the open market?
Yeah, that's the thing. But you got to kind of keep them, right? I mean,
you got to. You got to. I
mean, if you're Bill Parcells, you're like, fuck him. We can get a punter anywhere. But
he's also your holder. You got this young rookie who's shanking kicks. And Luke, I think you might need to bring him back. Calvin's boy, Luke. Calvin's out there at the stadium.
Absolutely not. You know how many times
Calvin used to get so mad.
He didn't earn it. He does not. You got to earn a chance. He did not earn it.
They would start looping, and Calvin would hit the text line.
I hated it.
He has not earned it.
He did not earn that shit. And look what he did. How did we end the season? Loser.
Well, let's see how you feel about this person coming back. He's a free agent, Daniel Fa'alale. All right, man. So let's see what
my screen freeze.
Daniel, it's been good. Thank you for missing all those blocks, for running around after the defensive lineman after you whiffed on them.
Let me go out on this limb right now. If they re-sign Daniel Fa'alale, I'm turning over my season tickets. That's it. I'm giving them back, and I'm
all right. He's on record. He's on record, y'all. He's on record. All right, man. So those are the Ravens free agents. We'll see what happens starting next week. Man, my man, Lil Man, is being released by the Cardinals. Arizona informed the 2019 number one draft pick that it plans to release him next Wednesday when the new league begins, barring a trade. They're not going to trade for him because I already told them they're going to release him. With him probably hitting free agency next week, Murray has two teams he would like to join, a source has told ESPN, though the names of those teams were not provided. Murray was a two-time Pro Bowler and is one of five players in NFL history, along with Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, and Cam Newton, to throw for more than 20,000 yards and run for more than 3,000 yards in their 7 seasons. And so, what did you think about Lil Man and his tenure and where he might end up?
So it's so funny. First of all, Garland calls him little man, and first time he started calling him that, and I watched little man, and
Lil Man with
I
Damon
put it
Wayans,
together. Marlon Wayans,
Marlon Wayans,
and I put it together. I could not stop laughing. I was just like, "Yo,
Lil
this
Man,
shit is hilarious."
Lil
Um,
Man.
his tenure was marred by, I don't want to say marred, but it was filled with a lot of potential. Then remember we were on his side when they put the study clause in his contract.
Yeah,
We were
yeah,
like,
you
what
had to
the fuck is
study,
that?
stop playing games, study.
Hey man, they actually dropped the clip of Ryan Clark telling Dominic
Right,
Foxworth.
that he thought he's gonna be better than Lamar. People, man.
Hey man, I wish the best for Kyler. Just trying to think of some places he could go. Cleveland could use him. Although they got like 35 quarterbacks, but they seem to like a running quarterback. I'm trying to think of where else. Miami could use a guy like Kyler Murray. Who else can we think of? The Raiders got the number
They
one
said
pick, so they're
Vikings
not.
possibly. That's a
Vikings,
possibility.
Vikings, that
You
would
know
be.
that Kevin O'Connor is the quarterback whisperer for quarterbacks who are
He,
transitioning from
he ain't
teams. It's a
whispered nothing to
possibility.
JJ McCarthy, but
I think they tired of JJ McCarthy. That's why they're looking at other quarterbacks, and so it's a possibility he could go there. Yeah, I think there's some team that's going to take a chance on a 5'7"
yeah, the
quarterback who doesn't.
Colts. I
Yeah, the
forgot about
Colts.
the Colts.
You know,
Yeah,
they got Daniel Jones, who they're just going to give big money to. Maybe they might, and they told Anthony Richardson he can go ahead and find a team. They're probably going to
I
release
thought
him.
Daniel Jones might hit free agency. I think the Colts put a
No, no,
transition
no. They
tag on him.
tended
No,
to. No, they tended him. They franchise tagged him.
I thought
Yeah.
they
So
transition tagged him.
yeah, but that means they're going to bring him back.
Not necessarily. Not
They ain't
necessarily.
gonna let that man go because they. I already told you last season they traded away their number one pick for Sauce
That's true.
Gardner.
That's true.
They
That's
went
true.
all in,
Yeah.
and so they can't just let him walk. And so yeah, and nobody else going to pay him. He's going to be out half the season or most of the season, and so he'll be back there. Yeah, I think he's going to have his choice of a couple teams that are quarterback hungry. Hey, why not the Raiders? You're going to have you taking the number one pick. He may not be ready to start immediately. You may not want to throw him out there to the wolves like that, and maybe Lil Man could be your man for a season or two, and that might give him a chance to go ahead and get his money up, just like Russell Wilson did, and go to another team and get some more money. And so, yeah, I think his problem also, the offensive line was terrible. I just, they had some offensive pieces there. I mean, they had some good receivers, Marvin Harrison Jr. They had a good tight end, McBride, who's all pro tight end. But it just, they had James Conner, the Terminator at running back. I think he had a good season or two there, but I just don't think they were able to sustain that success. He's a passer that really can't pass over the middle because he can't see the middle because of his height, and so you're going to have to really have an offense that's designed that what's your boy from he's with the Rams now, but he was with the Redskins last year, offensive coordinator. Now he's going to the Rams to be the associate head coach. Oh my
Oh,
God, he was
he was a candidate for
Kingsbury.
us too. Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Chris.
Yeah, he had Kingsbury, and so that type of spread offense where you're, throwing to the sides, like you said, that Tua did when in Miami. Since McDaniel is going to the Chargers. Maybe he's a good backup there. I don't know. And so we'll
He's not
see.
going to be
But
a backup with the kind of money he's going to command. He ain't going to be no
yeah,
kind of backup.
well, what they're saying is, he has that offset, and so more than offset money. And so what happens is probably he'll go to a team on a $1 million deal, and the Cardinals will have to pay the rest, and so
Oh,
he
okay.
could come
Okay.
a little
Well,
bit
yeah.
cheaper.
Yeah.
Diggs is out in New England. The Patriots informed veteran wide receiver Steffon Diggs that he will be released at the start of the 2026 league year. Diggs' salary cap charge was set to rise from 10.5 million to 26.5 million, which was the catalyst for the move. If he was on the roster by the end of next week, he would have had an additional $6 million of his contract guaranteed. And so I know he just broke up with Nicki Minaj. No, it wasn't Nicki Minaj. Who is the other one?
Cardi B.
Cardi B.
Not the other one.
It's the other
Bruh.
one.
Get your
Cardi
pop
B.
culture up.
Let me get my pop. I'm sorry. I'm an old man. I'm sorry.
But you
Queen
a hip hop
Latifah.
guru.
Yeah, I don't consider Cardi B hip hop.
Really?
Cardi B is the creation of a reality show. You can't put her next to no MC Light, Queen Latifah, Salt and Pepper, Rhapsody.
I can't tell you that I can't tell you that she's great, but I can tell you that she's had some good songs, man.
Yeah, of course she's had good songs because she's hooked up with the right people. I mean, she's made a song with Taylor Swift.
Music. Come on, Garland. Don't do that. Don't
Calvin,
do that.
is it legacy music that she made, or was it bubblegum popcorn?
It wasn't bubblegum.
I hit today, forget tomorrow. All right, name those great songs.
Nah, I said good song. I didn't say.
I thought she said great. Name a good song.
Her first album wasn't bad. It wasn't. I'm not. It wasn't bad. Let me. No, I know what happens with you, darling. Here's what you are generational, and I'm not discounting the artists that you put on top, because they are, but there's always going to be a transition and somebody new is going to come in. This generation, and maybe she's even moving out of this generation, but this is your Nicki Minaj's, your Cardi B's, your Megan Thee Stallions. They're great entertainers for this generation.
I don't have nothing against Meg Thee Stallion. I think she's great. I ain't got nothing against the Glorilla. I loved her little song.
She's another one.
But there are great female artists out there like Rhapsody, who's a peer that I don't. Cardi B is a studio creation for me. I'm just talking about. Yeah, she's a studio creation. That's what she is. She's a Barbie. But it's cool. It's cool. I understand. It's for the young kids.
It's this generation. That's what
the young kids. The radio ain't for me. Like,
yeah, I'm not putting her up there with MC Light and Queen Latifah. I'm definitely not putting her in.
I mean, and Calvin's lecturing me like, look, you need to come stop yelling at the sky, old man. I feel you. I feel you. I'm just saying, none of her music moves me. Okay. And I don't think it moves too many people. I mean, she's basically she's a no-name now. Is Cardi B still relevant in 2020 in 2026?
Well, she is. I mean, they made a huge deal about her and Steffon Diggs. She is.
Yeah, that's off the field. I'm talking about making records.
I don't think her. Well, she did just start going on tour, so I think the tour is doing well. I don't keep up with her as much, but I think the tour is doing well.
I'm gonna let you defend the young people. All right.
I'm just and I'm. It's not that I'm defending them, but I'm an advocate in we can't discount what they like.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
The only reason why I discount her because she's whack. I'm not discounting her because she ain't Queen Latifah
She's
or
not
all the
whack.
other one. I'm discounting her because she's whack. That's
Well,
why I'm discounting her.
you just don't like Cardi B. She's not whack, bro.
She's whack. She is outside of being a stripper that shakes her booty.
Oh my God.
Her flow is whack.
Not
She's
whack.
a studio creation.
She's not
She's
whack.
whack.
She's not whack.
She's
And
whack.
you don't give her credit for being a stripper, jumping on a reality show, and going from that to what she is now.
Oh,
I mean,
she
there was a
the
time where she was an
best.
A+ list celebrity.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
was. And
I
she ain't no
mean,
more.
you don't give her credit for that type of grind.
No.
Oh, come
No,
on,
because
dog.
we live in this reality show. I know it's a new era. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right, let me say because I'm coming off real crusty. Look, I understand. I understand. This is how people get on today, and
It's how they get on.
that's how they get on. And I ain't trying to, dog the sisters who coming up out the strip club because there's a couple of them coming up out the strip club, and doing their thing. God bless them. I just think in terms of talent, she on the mic, she is low. That's all. That's all. I I'm not coming in the club like, yo, put on that Cardi B. I'm not in the car be like, yo, throw
I
on some
get it.
Cardi
I
B.
get it. I get it. I personally don't dislike her, so I take it for what it is. And let me qualify that by saying I don't have any Cardi B on my playlist. It's not like
Yeah,
I'm sitting
that's
here
right.
pulling for like, yo, no, but she's not
Yo, I'm
bad.
telling you, the strip club princess joint that she dropped, yo.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, Joe, that's it. No,
but she's not
you
she's
ain't
not
doing that.
whack. She's not whack. She's not
Wick, whack. she's
You
whack.
sound like Jay with Sierra. Jay said Sierra's a whack. She's not
Yeah,
whack. She's not whack.
every generation has one. They get that little shine. And anyway, the Bills agreed to acquire Bears wide receiver DJ Moore. The Bears have agreed to trade him to the Buffalo Bills. The move gives Josh Allen a top target at wide receiver that's been missing since the team traded Diggs to the Texans in 2024. Moore had 50 receptions for 682 yards and 6 touchdowns last season, his third with the Bears. In 3 seasons in Chicago, he had 244 catches for a little over 3,000 yards and 20 touchdowns. What do you think about that move?
So I think I put it in the chat today. I would not have been mad if the Ravens had picked up DJ Moore, although I just think we need a bigger receiver. I just wouldn't have liked him paired along with Zay because of the size. But I think DJ Moore is actually, and he came on last year. I thought coming out of college he was a decent receiver. And he came on last year. I think I would give him a B type receiver. I don't know if he's going to carry a team,
Sure.
but I would give him a B type receiver. But let me say this, and especially because we were on the subject of who's whack. If Steffon Diggs had not caught that tip pass in that playoff game with the Vikings to win that game against the Saints in the last
Yeah. And
seconds.
you know who missed that interception or that tackle?
Who's that? Who's that?
He played defensive back for the Ravens. The Ravens signed him a couple years later. He hurt his shoulder. He was always hurt, and he started getting cooked his last year, and they cut him the next year. Williams.
Oh, that was it. Yeah. So
yeah, that's who missed the tackle.
let me just say this. I don't think Steffon Diggs I've never thought Steffon Diggs was all that great. I thought he was a good receiver, but I think that play right there elevated him a lot more. I think he really took advantage of that and got that deal with the Bills where he was decent. But then what did he do with the Patriots? You know what I mean? Like I've never been a huge Steffon Diggs fan, and I'm saying that not just to you, but to you, EDC. Do not bring Steffon Diggs to the Baltimore Ravens.
Steffon Diggs ain't gonna be here. He
Do
got too much
not bring
going on.
Stefan. I don't care how team friendly the deal is. We do not bring Stefan Diggs to the Baltimore Ravens.
He ain't gonna be here. You ain't gonna have to worry about that. I do like this trade for the Bills. He's better than any of the receivers that they have there, so there's
Absolutely.
definitely
Absolutely.
an upgrade there. I think if they find another receiver and pair that receiver with him, because I don't think he's definitely a one. He's a 1A, a
Yeah.
1B. I think he's like a 1B, a 1C, a two, or whatever. They get another receiver to pair with him that's just on that level, a little bit above that. Let's talk about AJ Brown being out there. I think that offense is going to be pretty good. With Cook in the backfield, of course, with the tank and Allen running down the field, running people over, throwing those bullets. I think they would, have a very good offense that you had to really respect and watch out for those receivers. And so we'll see what happens with them. I mean, there was some question about his hands, and I think the whole thing with bringing in Caleb last year, the year before last, and him going through that rookie season and getting into that offense and learning that system. They still were upgrading players. That line was not all that great. They did not have a great running game, but once they got those things in order, I think he matured as a passer, and then they were able to use more better. And I think in this system going out to Buffalo, I think he could, do something. I agree with you about your take on Diggs. I mean, I think Diggs to me has always just been a system receiver. This is not a
Yeah.
guy
It's
that's
not.
just a come in and he's a beast. I think he thrived in some great systems. He thrived in the great system in Minnesota. He got to Buffalo again. Great quarterback, great system. And then last year, that was a team that really predicated on the run. He caught a lot of things out of the play action, all those things. He was a solid veteran for a second year quarterback. And so we'll see what happens with him as he catches on with his next team, but I doubt if it's Baltimore. We got some franchise tag your it. Brees Hall, running back for the Jets. He received a franchise tag with them. George Pickens, wide receiver with the Cowboys. Kyle Pitts, tight end with the Atlanta Falcons. And the transition tag was placed on Daniel Jones, QB for the Colts. And so out of these tags, what do you think is the best one that, really is, worth the bucks?
The obvious one is George Pickens. I mean, he took off in Dallas next to, on the opposite side rather, of CD Lamb. He's the obvious one, but I personally think the one I like the most is the Kyle Pitts tag. Kyle
Hmm.
Pitts came on last year, especially towards the end of last season. And Kyle Pitts is starting to, I think he's going to have a huge year. I was secretly hoping that they would let him get into free agency and the Ravens would go ahead and let Kohler and Likely go and figure out a way to get Kyle Pitts in a Baltimore uniform. I think the boy is going to be good. Now, we can say what we want about Stefanski, but he did use his tight ends quite a bit in Cleveland, and I think Kyle Pitts is due for a Pro Bowl year.
That's right, because you was in love with Njoku up there.
I
That
wasn't
bum.
in love with Njoko, but Njoko was a good tight end. But he wasn't even the one by the end of the season. It was the
Right.
rookie boy that got hurt.
Yeah.
He was the one. But Njoku was
Mhm.
good, man. You hated Njoku. Njoku stayed injured though, but he
He
was
stayed
good.
injured. He stayed injured, but yeah, when he was out there, he gave you something. Rest in peace, Lou Holtz. Lou Holtz, the quick-witted college football coach who led Notre Dame to a national championship in 1988 and burnished his reputation as a master at rebuilding programs, died at the age of 89. It was announced today. He had, well, actually yesterday, he had a 249 to 132 and 7 tie record over his head coaching career with 6 schools: William and Mary, NC State, Arkansas, Minnesota, Notre Dame, and South Carolina. He also coached the New York Jets for the 1976 season and finished 3-10. After retiring from coaching, Holtz worked in television, including more than a decade with ESPN. What are your thoughts on Lou Holtz and his career?
Rest well. I,
Magaloo. I
yeah,
just saw something on Twitter. Go ahead. I
Now
ain't
I
gonna
was gonna
stop.
say I'm not gonna act like I kept up with his career. I didn't pick up on Lou Holtz until he was at Notre Dame, and then I didn't even really follow him much at South Carolina. Then when he came on ESPN, I couldn't even understand what the fuck he was saying most of the time. But I didn't dislike him, but I can't say that I
Mhm,
liked him. But as with any death, it's
mhm.
sad for people, and so rest well. I have nothing
Yeah, I
bad to
think he
say.
was not that he was the first coach to do it, but he was probably one of the most modern coaches to be a coach that traveled through different schools, that went to a lot of different schools. He had in his, I think they said he had in his contract that if if the Notre Dame job ever opened, that he, could break his contract and go get that job, which he eventually did. Um, Not that Notre Dame was terrible, I mean, but they had some off years with Jerry Faust, and he brought that program back to a lot of respectability. He won some games there. He definitely brought in some very good players who eventually went on to have great pro careers. I don't think it ended too well at South Carolina, but he did enough there that people admired him. I saw this thing that said, fun fact, Lou Holtz was fired by the University of Arkansas after he filmed a commercial in support of segregationist U.S. Senator Jesse Helms of North Carolina. To put it another way, Lou Holtz was too racist even for Arkansas. And so, his politics definitely in the last couple of years, he was a very big Trump supporter, big supporter of the MAGA agenda. Definitely makes you think about sending your sons to go play for Lou Holtz. I think Tommy Tuberville the same way. A lot of us, sending our kids to go play for Holtz, and we don't really know the politic of that coach. And a lot of times, yeah, they take the black labor, but they don't necessarily want equality in terms of opportunity. So, Lou Holtz, thank you for your service.
Rest well.
West, bro. Just real quick basketball divot, and then we're going to go ahead and close out. We'll come on, yo. Basketball superstar Jason Tatum is expected to make his 25-26 NBA season debut against the Dallas Mavericks on Friday night at TD Garden. Tatum, whose return comes less than 10 months after tearing his right Achilles tendon in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals against the New York Knicks, has been described as ready to go. And he is expected to inform the Celtics of his final decision ahead of Friday's action. He has been diligently working on trying to play the season after he suffered that injury against the Knicks, and he had surgery less than 24 hours after the injury occurred. And so, what do you think about this? Should he just go ahead and should the Celtics, because it looked like it's really going to be up to the Celtics, should the Celtics kind of be like, no, we'll see you next season? Or should they go ahead and gamble and put that man back out there coming back after 10 months of an Achilles tear?
They should give him the Lou Holtz treatment that I just gave Lou Holtz. Rest well. Sit your ass down. Like I don't understand if I guess it's been years now, but these athletes never learn. They put so much pressure on Kevin Durant to come back for that finals in Golden
Right.
State. And as soon as he
Right.
came back, what does he do? Pop his Achilles. Like, and then
Mm-hmm.
he's out. Like you no good for anyone. Sit down, Jason. You have nothing to prove at this point. You got your ring, you got your MVP. You have nothing to prove any longer. There was a time where you did have something to prove. Not
Sure.
all of us thought that, but you probably thought that. You don't have anything to prove any longer.
Yeah,
Sit
I
down.
think they can. Yeah, I think they can win the East without him. I mean,
Jalen Brown is having an MVP season.
yeah, he's having an MVP season. That team is playing very well. They have the number one seed in the East right now. If the playoffs started today, I think they have enough. I think they can beat Cleveland. I think they can beat anyone else in the East, and I think they can beat the Knicks without Tatum. And I think to put him back out on the court at this time of the season after 10 months of tearing an Achilles, it's just not worth it. I know surgery advances and everything, and it advances in rehabilitation and all those things. Typically you don't have to use that. That was a year long. Actually, it was a career ender back in the 70s and 80s, and even in the 90s. If you tore your Achilles, you basically were done. Or you tore your knee, your ACL, all those things. And so yeah, players are coming back quicker. But I think the Celtics should just go ahead and pump the brakes and like, look, cool, we know you're ready, but we're gonna go ahead and keep going forward. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But he's supposed to debut on Friday against the Mavs. All right. Now we're at the point of the show that everybody loves. Come on, yo. So you want me to go ahead and start with my come on, yo?
Yeah, that's cool.
Go ahead. Yeah. Come on, CIAA floor supervisor. All right, y'all. Baltimore has been hosting the CIAA basketball tournament, men's and women's tournament. What has been now? This is the third year or fourth year? This is the
No,
third.
no, no, it's like the fifth or sixth
Is
year.
it?
I
It's been
remember.
5 years.
Yeah, it came in the first year was the pandemic year, so it didn't come. It didn't actually hit. So about 2021, 22 is when they actually hit the court. I think they hit the court in 22, but they've been here since 21, something
Okay,
like that.
so this is the fourth year of playing in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
arena.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I thought. So this is the fourth year, and I've been to the CIAA twice. Calvin, so graciously, he
You
works
didn't come
for.
every year. I thought we
I have
came
not.
every
I have
year.
not. I think. Did we come the first 2 years? Did we come in 20? I think we came
We
23 and 24. I didn't come for 25.
okay. So you didn't
Yeah.
come last year.
Yeah, so I've been three
Okay.
times. I didn't go last year, and so through the largesse of club level Cal and his connections, I've been able to go. And I have a friend, also a colleague. He got us tickets this year, and he's connected to the mayor of Baltimore City, and he has some VIP passes. And so this is what I mentioned at the beginning of the show, the top of the show, that I met Calvin in VIP. So he called on Friday, like, "Hey, I got VIP. Come on down." Like, okay, cool. And so we were hanging out in VIP, and he says, "Hey, I'm gonna go get us seats on the floor." So I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that came with VIP." And so all of a sudden I look up, he's like, "Yeah, come on." He waves us down. So it's me and three other people. We going down and we sit under the basket. And we watching the game, man. Women's game, great women's game. I take a
Great
little
game.
picture, post it on Facebook, talking about, I'm not I'm not spiking it. I'm not doing the Spike Lee. I got courtside, but it's court enough. These are the best seats. I ain't spiked out or whatever. And so chilling. The men's game comes. So still, sitting there, and it's a little bit before halftime. Gentleman comes up to us, leans over in our ear, and says, "I see y'all don't have the laminate for the floor seats. Y'all gonna have to leave." Okay. And so, a little embarrassed. My man, he trying to like, all right, man, yeah, he trying to talk us into the seats. But the guy's like, "No, you're gonna have to move." And so we're like, "Okay, cool." He said, "Y'all don't have to get up right now, but when halftime come, go ahead, roll out." So okay, cool. So we sit there. It's just a couple minutes before halftime. And then another person comes up. This person's a little younger, and he's more rude. Y'all don't have the lanyards. Get up now. So we like, "Yo, why are you so loud? We already know we gotta go. He told us we can leave at. Nah, y'all can't stay in these seats until then. Get up now and leave." We like, "Yo, chill. You ain't gotta get all loud. You trying to? I mean, y'all still sitting there. That's why I'm loud. Y'all need to get up and go now." Yo, it felt so embarrassing because it was people sitting in the row in front of us, and there were people sitting in the row behind us. They can hear the whole conversation. So, like, get up and I leave. I'm like, Man, F y'all little broke tournament anyway. Nobody can't, ain't nobody hardly up in here. Y'all should let me sit down. But I'm
Duh.
wrong. I'm wrong. But come on, yo, you ain't had to be that rude, young dude with the locks. I mean, he basically picked us up by the collars and kicked us out off the floor. Calvin texted me later. I was so hurt. I just went here and left. I didn't even stay for the rest of the game. I just went here, got up. I went up in VIP for like 2 seconds. When the half ended, I just went here like, all right, y'all, I'm out. And I left because I was so hurt that I had been embarrassed by the floor marshal. So whoever you are, dude, just chill, man. You ain't had to do us like that. You ain't had to embarrass the gray beards like that. But I guess I should have been in my right area.
Yeah, man. So we had a couple of, I'll say, weird experiences on Saturday. Friday we were fine, and it wasn't a lot of people in there. They were kind of letting you do a free for all. They weren't
Right.
stopping you at the
I,
Saturday. They were stopping you to walk in front of the press on the floor.
Mhm.
You had to wait till there was a break in the game. But
Right.
Friday they weren't doing that. We walked back to the VIP without an escort because you needed an
Mhm.
escort to
Right.
walk. So Saturday comes around. I'm ready just to go sit in the seats. We got a couple people there. The wife is like, "Now let's go get some food at the
Yeah.
VIP thing first. And,
Mhm.
we get some drinks, then we'll go up there." I was like, "All right, cool." So we go to walk, and they stop us. Stopping everybody. So while we're there, some of the lanyards that you can accompany people, you don't have to wait uh for the stoppage. You can just go through. So this lady
Mhm.
was going through, and this guy was like, "Hey, can I go with you?" And he had a lanyard that wasn't an company lanyard, and she was just like, "Yeah, come on." And she looked at us, and I was like, "Can we go?" And she looked at us to say, "Yeah." Why this nigga turn around and say, "You need one of these?" Bruh, bruh,
Right. I know you
Katina,
got.
Katina was like, "Calm down." I said, "No. When we get over there, I'm gonna be like, look like we didn't need one. Bitch, you barely made it. You only getting to go through the thing because she there. Like,
Right.
I'm already down here. I got my VIP. I'm just trying to walk over because I'm trying to go see my friends. Bitch,
Right.
you barely made it in here." Like, uh, she said, don't." She was just like, don't say that to her because she knew I wanted to. And we were just talking about earlier how it wasn't even a real VIP because you had to pay for the drinks. If
Right.
you got to pay for drinks,
You
it
VIP
ain't
is
even.
supposed to all be free. That's
Thank
the
you.
whole point of being in
Thank you.
VIP.
Thank you. Thank you. So anyway, so now, mind you, we already, they let us through. The guy that
Mhm.
opened the day, he was like, "Let me see your wristband." And we're like, "Cool, we know you need a wristband to get in VIP." So you go to get the wristband, we scanned ourselves in. So when we were finished and ready to go sit with our friends, they stop in the stoppage again.
Mhm.
Cool. When they start letting people walk through during the stoppage, the guy stops us and say, "You can't walk through here. You need a lanyard to walk on this part of the floor." And I was like, "Okay, I get that, but we had to get over here, right? All we trying to do is get back to our seats.
Right.
We had to get over here, and we can't walk the other way because you definitely need the lanyard to go to the VIP suites." And
Right.
he was like, "No, I can't let you walk." So the other girl came, and we was like, "So we just trapped in here? Y'all trapping us in VIP? Y'all not letting us leave?" She was like, "No, but I gotta ask somebody." One of my co-workers with the lanyard walked by, was just like, "Come on." So she took us around, and we had to go in the suite, which we had no intention to go in the suite, but we
Right.
went in there, hobnobbed a little bit, and
Mhm.
grabbed
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
sodas
Yeah.
and stuff for our friends, and
Mhm.
then went up to the seats. You know what I mean? But take it easy, y'all. Like,
Yeah, yeah, y'all
it
being
just,
overzealous. You're
yeah,
acting like
just
this the NCAA
take it
tournament. This is a Sweet
easy.
16 or something of the Final
And
Four. Slow
and
down.
I get it that you got to do your job, but have some decency, have some common sense. First of all, the guy that was like, "You need one of these," you need to shut the fuck up. Like, sir, that's when you don't know who you talking to. Cause I mean, I never, I try not to ever do this, but I work
Mhm.
for Visit Baltimore. I can get the lanyard if I
Right,
really want it. I
right.
don't, you know what I mean? It's whatever. calm down, sir. Secondly, the people, the guy that was talking to you, if the one guy said you can sit there till halftime, what's the problem with you sitting there till halftime? Because I guarantee you, after you all got up, no one went and sat in those seats. It was the
Right.
Friday night game that wasn't even that crowded. And then for the guy to not let us walk through, have some common sense. What I'm saying to you is, we had to come over here. We're trying to leave. Just let us leave. You know what I
Right.
mean? Just let us leave and go to our seats. If you think we're going to try to get some floor seats, clearly y'all got people that'll pull us out of there. Just calm down. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get it. We doing jobs, and everybody's job, whatever your job is, there's a point where it's more difficult than another, and I get it.
Sure.
But
Sure.
calm down. Have some empathy. Have some common
Hmm.
sense, and just
Yeah, like, dude, you throwing us off the seat, and want nobody get ready to take the seat. Just
if
hey,
you were
oh,
sitting
okay.
in someone's seats, I get it.
Right. I can see somebody standing there like, oh, these are our seats. Then okay,
Exactly.
yeah, y'all got to go immediately. But yeah, you didn't have somebody to take the seats. You just was embarrassing us to get us out the seats. I'm like, yo, it's 2 minutes left in the half. Just give us the 2 minutes and we can go ahead and bounce. Why we gotta? Y'all still talking?
The
Oh,
fuck?
okay.
Talking to you.
All right,
See,
y'all.
and that's
That's
all
cool.
right. So, let me get to my come on, yo, because
Y'all little
I
broke ass tuna.
hey, along the lines of the city. So I'm sure you've seen the article where they're mad at Brandon Scott because he spent about
Oh
$1 million
God.
on
Leave
crab
Brandon
feast and
Scott alone.
Ravens games and other luxuries for his staff. Let me in the words of Mike Tomlin, we do not care.
We
Listen,
don't.
let me tell you
We
something. If Brandon Scott wants to treat his staff to some extra crab legs here,
mhm.
to a
Some
Ravens
extra
game, and
glizzies.
order more crab cakes and drinks or whatever,
Yes.
as long as crime is staying down and he's doing what he's doing, making that effort, I do not give a fuck. You know what I give a fuck about, and y'all should be focusing on still? How you let Donald Trump hire all of his friends to run departments that affect your lives every day. Linda McMahon, the wife of the wrestling owner, WWE, whatever
Vince
you call him,
McMahon.
Vince McMahon,
Mhm.
is running the Department of Education. And you think that Brandon Scott spending $1 million on his staff is just as bad or worse than that? That's what you need to be focused on. How is this happening? Robert
It's
Kennedy
mhm.
literally told you he snorted cocaine off a toilet seat, but he's the Secretary of Health. People that affect your lives every fucking day. And you worried because this man treated his staff. Not he didn't even treat booster. I mean, they don't call them boosters.
Right.
Campaign donors that would
Right.
affect the voting. Not his staff. To crab cakes and football in Baltimore, where we all year long go to seafood for eat crabs and watch football. he ain't he ain't do nothing out of the ordinary. He spent a little extra money on them. You know they're working hard and they're doing well for the city. Everything ain't perfect, but it's better. You know, murders are down the most that they were since the 80s. And you think we care about some? You know what? The only reason I would be mad is because I feel like, well, damn, if it's $1 million, didn't you have an extra ticket for your boy? Where my ticket at? That's the only thing I would care about. Come on, yo. Stop with the fake outrage. This is fake outrage because no one in the city cares. And if you actually look when they put it up, if you actually look at the comments, people are literally, and I love Baltimore for this, people are literally like, so
Right.
we don't care. No one cares. Come on, yo. Stop it.
Bro, let me tell you this because there's a local media entity that's leading this effort, Sinclair Broadcasting. They own a local television station and they own the local newspaper. And they have set off such a frenzy about looking into the spending of these nonprofits or local government that I'm dealing with it every day at work, Calvin. They asking me, "Oh, we need to make sure that the nonprofits are they're registered with the state." What they're counting on in doing these things is that people are pretty much dumb. That most people, the regular Joe Blow citizen, don't know how nonprofits operate. They don't know how local government operates. They just hear something about, oh, this is waste. And they immediately want them to jump on, oh, yeah, it's wasteful, it's wasteful. When you look at the amount of money spent to take care of a staff who work super long hours, who are at your beck and call almost 24 hours a day, that are in community meetings late into the night to address your constituent concerns, who often have to leave their families because they have work responsibility to do this stuff for you as a civic duty that they're paid for. Not a lot of money, but they get a special invite to sit in the governor's suite or to sit in the mayor's suite and to have a hamburger or a hot dog without having to pay for it and a soda. That's not a lot of money. When you look at the overall expenditures for the police department, for public education, for infrastructure, for all of these other things to take down these vacants, that that's a drop in the bucket of the city's budget. It's not even 10%. But because they put this big number on it, people lose their mind. Oh my God, this race, this. Yeah, so yeah, I agree with you. We don't care because I really need people to educate themselves about budgets, about expenditures. I mean, I'm gonna let y'all know something. Larry Hogan did it too when he was governor. Martin O'Malley did it too when he was mayor and governor. Uh, I don't think Schaefer did it because the team it was only one team here. They ain't had no boxes. So Schaefer probably the only one who ain't do it. Okay,
And Schaefer
this
did
is
something though. I'm sure Schaefer did something.
yeah, Schaefer did something.
Schaefer
Did
did
something.
something.
But Schaefer got a little greasy. But yeah, this is a nothing burger. But it's a nothing. And no, we don't care because the mayor is getting results. Now, I will say this though. My friend Mayor Scott, you cannot say just because it's not illegal, it's appropriate. Now that's the only thing I got to say about you, bud. You you got your girl Mackenzie finally got under your skin because normally you handle Mackenzie Frost well with the questions, but that last question, I think you had just had it, and you went ahead and you said that as I heard a preacher said, it ain't going to kill you, but it just don't look good. So yeah, everything that's there's some things that we can do. It ain't gonna kill you, but it does don't look good. And so you should have just like, hey, look, don't worry about that, whatever, like you normally do. But yeah, don't say, hey, if it's not illegal, then it's okay, because that's a little gray area.
And which takes us to another point in the same vein. That's why he can take his staff and pay that kind of money because they're going to pull him aside and check him because another part of their job is dealing with y'all asses, dealing with the
Mm-hmm.
media, dealing with Mackenzie. You don't think they put in overtime for that?
Yeah.
You don't think they have to put in overtime to
Mm-hmm.
try to figure out how we're going to answer this correctly?
Mm-hmm.
You don't
Trust
think they
me,
cringed when they heard him say that? Come
bro.
on, y'all.
Yeah, this
Come on.
whole thing is just trust me, because we we give out a lot of money. We don't give out, but we award a lot of money to nonprofits and local governments. And ever since this whole focus on what these people are doing with the money has been happening, man, on our end, we've had to tell people, hey, we may not be able to give you money if you don't do what you're supposed to do. And yeah, it's crazy.
And real quick, another come on, yo, because it's over now, and I'll forget this.
Mm-hmm.
Another come on, yo. Y'all wanted this snow. Y'all Mayor Scott, why is this snow and ice still everywhere? In a blizzard we ain't seen in a long time.
Right. We ain't had this in a minute.
Y'all wanted it moved immediately.
10 years.
When he moved it to Old Town Mall, y'all had something to say about that. I mean, did y'all have a suit at Cookies on layaway or something that y'all needed to go pick up? And
Cookies,
because the damn snow was there? Was that it?
No, they put it up. You know what was at Old Town? The Diplomat Shop. Because I had a family member that worked in the Diplomat Shop. They used to have a commercial on Soul Train. The Diplomat.
They had the dark glass outside. And they had the seats. I remember that. They put it at Pimlico. Y'all was fussing about that. Did y'all have a horse running in the third race or something? Is that the reason why you like? Stop it! Y'all have come on, y'all got to stop it. You wanted him to move. He moved
Brandon
it out
Scott,
your way.
What you doing about this? No, Brandon.
He moved it out your way. Why y'all put it at Pimlico? That don't look good. I'm sorry. It don't look good anyway. Have y'all been to Are you kidding me?
Bro. Yeah, I'm like, what? So where was he? Where was he supposed to put it?
I just don't. When it
if he just went and threw it in the harbor, then y'all gonna be mad because he killing fishes. He not being environmentally safe. He threw that snow into the water.
And it's the black people. It's us. When he put it at Old Town Mall, I rode by there and was like, oh, I think that's a good spot. There's nothing going on there. Literally nothing.
Yeah. There's no shops in there. Nothing.
Y'all had a fit. Come on, yo. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all
This actually makes East Baltimore look a little better. I was like, oh, okay. What's the issue?
They said it looked bad at Park Heights.
Hey, dude, I rode by it too. I was like, is this construction dirt at first? It was like
it seemed to fit in with me. I thought it fit right in. If you go to the
I
corner
grew up around there, I was like
Belvedere and Park Heights. Okay. Oh,
what? They only have one race a year at Pimlico. I mean, what they doing there?
Y'all mad because y'all horse Stella Breed couldn't finish his race or something?
Y'all not going to Afro Creek there this year. It's going to be out in Laurel. What y'all mad about?
No, I could not believe it. They was complaining about. Y'all will complain about every.
I guess when they go to the Jamaican spot across the street and get their roti, they ain't want to see that big pile of snow out there.
But when it was on the ground, y'all had a fit about that. Where was he supposed to put the snow? Was he just supposed to stand there and hold it all up for you?
I guess the next time, put it in Drew Hill Park. Go ahead and put it in the parks.
Oh,
Clifton, Lincoln.
People walk around Drew Hill Park.
Put it in Lincoln. Lincoln. Don't nobody walk around Lincoln. Put it in Lincoln.
Oh, then how we gonna get serial podcasts if we put it? Ain't gonna be no dead bodies. What? We can't put it there.
I don't know where they gonna put it next time.
Now, if y'all want to fuss about the potholes, I'm right there with you because
the potholes is a little crazy right now.
The only time I won't vote for Brandon Scott right now is if we get a candidate to run on customer service and potholes. Then Brandon, you lost my vote. I'm voting for him. Voting for this motherfucker, right?
I hit a pothole the other week. It was like, oh Lord, I pulled over, started praying. Like I know my tire light about to come on in a minute because I know it's flat. The way I just hit that pothole.
And the potholes, they trying to say it's a result of the snow. No, sir. Baltimore has had bad potholes for years.
Yeah, it just made the potholes worse.
Yeah, it's every just time it rains, they just
what the snow did was just put water in the hole, so you really can't see it.
That's it.
And then when you come up on it and you go down in it, Yeah, that's
Well,
what that's
maybe
the
there you go, right there. So no more crab feast and Ravens games. Use that money to fit $1 million. I think may fix a block of potholes. May fix
there you go.
one block right there. So
There
let's
you
get
go.
that block straight. Hey man, another good show. We ain't gonna hold y'all. We got off on a rant, but y'all killing me about my city.
Y'all all right. Y'all all right.
Killing
Y'all
me.
be all right.
Okay, that's why Garland moved to Hartford Hills because he like, man, I'm not dealing with you niggas.
Right.
Hey man,
I don't care where they put the snow out here.
we are live on YouTube right now, all the podcast platforms. And if you have Spotify, once I drop the pod tomorrow, you will be able to see our beautiful faces. Hey man, let me play this outro so we can get out here. I'm gonna give me some grilled cheese because I'm hungry as shit.
Enjoy.
You have been listening to The B.I.G. Show. This show was produced
Tomato
and written
soup
by
back.
Calvin Coates and Garland Thomas for All Things Black Productions. Follow us on all of your podcast media platforms.
It ain't even that hot out, but I might still get stuff.
Right.
Whatever. All right, man. Later. Have a good one, Garland.
Peace, bro.